So basically, with this body and the head sculpt from the new red and blue suit, you can combine them together and make something like this. Did I just leak Sony's next movie? What is up guys, welcome to the Figure Hideout. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 has been out for a while now, and as a PlayStation 5 exclusive and one of the best games, the quality of it is indeed top notch. The main storyline is long enough and the plot is very engaging. As a person who rarely plays through a game twice, recently I have just started the New Game Plus, and I'm going to enjoy it all over again. I mean, who can resist swinging freely through the Big Apple? The spider suits added in the game this time aren't many, as most of the iconic suits were already included in the first game. However, with Venom being the biggest highlight of this one, the new black suits are definitely the standout features. Today we are unboxing one of them, Spider-Man's black suit. According to the official names, this figure is just called the black suit, and the other one, which looks creepier, it is called the symbiote suit that appears in the later part of the game. So far, only 5 figures from the Spider-Man 2 series have been announced, and it is highly likely that Hot Toys will also make the symbiote and anti-venom suit in the future. The one I have right here is the special edition that includes a head sculpt not fully covered by the symbiote. This head is actually quite valuable this time, and I'll explain why as we go along. By the way, I just made my Instagram. I post my collections and newly released toys on it. So if you're interested, feel free to follow me. The packaging of this toy continues the style of the previous two in the series, but the color this time is in blue. The front photo and surrounding symbiotes give off a very aggressive vibe. Besides the outer box, corners of this window also features the symbiote patterns. The configuration of this figure is similar to the default suit, but this box is thicker. The top tray contains all the webs, and the inner box has 2 layers. The top layer holds the body, special edition head sculpt, hands, a spiral web, 2 web wings, and a piece of symbiote effect. The bottom layer contains 4 spider pincers, 4 covers for the plug holes, and 1 stand. Firstly, the body proportion of this figure is same as the default suit. You can tell from the trapezius areas that these two use the same body. The body shape looks quite nice visually. The curvature of the trapezius and shoulder areas also appear very natural. The only noticeable difference between them is the default suit has bigger biceps and triceps. The black suit's arms appear to be thinner. The body is skinnier than what's shown on the official images, but I don't think it's a problem because the prototype appears to be way too strong. And here is a comparison with the movie version of Venom. The suit material feels similar to Venom, but the texture on this one is finer and also it is thinner. If you close your eyes and touch it, you might think it's made of faux leather. There's also no sticky feel to the suit. The texture pattern on this black suit is much clearer than the movie version of Venom. Venom looks like it's on 720p instead of 4K. These linear patterns around the body are also 3-dimensional. They look sharp and clear. And Hot Toys made the shoe soles with a new design. The black suit has a matte finish compared to Venom's shinier and greasier look. Personally, I prefer the less shiny surface. But in terms of accuracy, I think Hot Toys could have made it a bit shinier to match with how it looks in the game. Additionally, because they didn't add the muscle paddings for areas like the abs and thighs, so the muscle curves on the black suit is not as obvious. However, because the suit is black and the suit material is slightly thicker than regular spider suits, so when you bend the figure's legs and arms, the wrinkles left on it won't be as obvious too. One thing I don't like is they didn't replicate these 3-dimensional chunky areas on the body. The main issue lies in these grooves. The figure's grooves are narrower and they are on top of the suit. These lines are basically printed on the surface. There's no depth, and really with no chunky muscle type of feel, no matter you look at it or touch it. And the neck part also has some detail and pattern loss. This large spider logo really captures that comic book vibe. You can see that, apart from the stomach area became slimmer, the entire design, especially the spider legs and the connection to the logo on the back, completely references the comics and looks really cool. The white surface also has a skin texture look, with a bit of blue paint added on the edges. The stitching lines on the ribs are finely made as well. The back of the suit has 4 holes for installing the spider pincers. I wouldn't recommend pushing the plugs too deep in these holes. It can be difficult for you to remove them later. And over time, the plugs might stick to the suit, potentially mess up the suit surface when you want to remove them. But again, because the suit is black, these plugs aren't as obvious as those on the default suit. The web shooters are screen printed, with a silver appearance. They are tiny, but the patterns and shooting holes are accurately replicated. The head sculpt looks pretty simple, just black with white eyes from a distance, but the chin and back of the head also have these linear patterns just like the body. This figure doesn't come with extra eyepieces, so there's only one expression. The white areas are a bit lower than the black areas, creating a simple layering effect, and I think that looks pretty good. On the edges, there's also a bit of blue. But if you look closely, the distance between the two eyes are actually further than the official image and how it looks in the game. About the accessories, the hands for this figure are slightly fewer than the other one. The default suit came with 8 extra hands, while this one came with 6. The main body comes with a pair of hands for holding webs. There are small holes in the fists. I don't really understand why they didn't include a pair of proper fists. Other hands include a pair of web shooting hands and a pair of open palm hands. However, it only has one wall crawling hand, and the other side is in this attacking pose. The combination is really a bit weird this time. And it's really pity that Hot Toys didn't include this pair of relaxed hands with it. These hands are great. The gestures is very natural. By far, they are only available with the Advanced Suit 2.0. The hand surface are also very glossy and with some textures. On the edges of these white V shapes, there's a bit of blue as well. But I still noticed there's a slight color difference between the body, head sculpt, and hands, because they are made with different materials. The difference is mainly in the glossiness. The suit is more matte, while the head sculpt and hands are shinier. The webs are same as the other 2 Spider-Mans in the series. They are the latest designs with good quality and details. This time they came in all black, there is no white webs. For details of these webs and how to use them, you can check out my previous videos. I'm not going to repeat it since there's no change at all. The web wings are black as well. They are still translucent. It becomes more apparent if you put a light source under it. Each segment has 3-dimensional patterns and shadowing effects. And here is a visual comparison with the white one. Hot Toys also used black magnets for this one, so it's quite well hidden. You can attach them to the body easily through the magnets. Just aim the rib and bicep areas. But the problem of these wings remains. Same thing for the ones in Tom Holland versions, which is the wings cannot fit the body curves perfectly. There's always gaps. I think using a fabric material with soft magnets on both sides could achieve a better fit. But that would sacrifice the 3-dimensional patterns on the wing surface. So for now, maybe there is no perfect solution for the wings. Next, the symbiote effect. It is much larger than the one in the default suit. The length of it is over 20 centimeters. Besides, the middle part is hard because that's where you connect the hands. The tendrils are pretty soft. And they are not as sharp as the smaller one. So it is also safer for the suit when you install it to the arm. It actually can be attached on either arm. This accessory is pretty simple in design, almost in just one piece. There's only one parting line right here. The color of it is also shinier than the body. Now the special edition head sculpt. I love it. It is awesome. The symbiote is in this not fully formed, twisted appearance, with better details than the one for the arms. The tendrils are smaller, and these grooves have more and sharper depth. You can even see a bit of the jaw through these three hollow parts. That's some tremendous details. The silver eyes are not separate parts like the movie versions. They are just painted separately, but looks okay. What really makes this thing special is the outer symbiote and the head inside can be separated. You can take the head out and replace it with other Spider-Man's head. That means you can create some really interesting looks on your own. For example, this Tom Holland version of black suit that we haven't seen yet. Technically, as long as the head can fit in, you can put any head you want inside. However, there's a risk, of course. Be really careful with these heads made with fabrics, because the opening size is quite small, and these sharp edges could mess up the whole thing. Also, better not try to put these heads with neck in it. It is very difficult to make them fit in safely. And here are some looks I made myself. With the latest Tom Holland head sculpt on it, it looks fantastic too. The black suit's body itself is already super fun to play with, and plus this symbiote headpiece, there are just even more ways to play. The Spider-Man head inside is same as the one on the default suit. The only difference is this one's color is more red. The color saturation is higher. Oh, and the eyepieces cannot be detached. It can fit on the default suit's body with no problem. I mean, if it is possible for you to get the special edition, I definitely recommend you doing so, because this extra head itself is making the entire figure just twice better. And for the spider pincers, they are 99% same as the previous ones. There are just two differences. First one is at the bottom. The ones from the black suit has one extra ball joint. The previous ones are in this flat shape, but with some extra blue details. The second difference, which is obvious, is that Hot Toys added these symbiotes. For the length measurement and articulation for each joint, you can check out the numbers I put down. In the game, even you use spider pincer techniques with the black suit, there is no symbiote like the figure does. It is an original design from Hot Toys, but I have to admit, they look great, super badass. And here is a comparison, with and without the symbiotes. Which one do you prefer? On each spider pincer, there are 4 symbiote pieces, and same design for all the pincers. The only difference among them is the symbiotes face different directions. The quality is same as the symbiote effect for the arm, but in terms of shape, they look more like hands that don't want to be separated from their host. These symbiotes can be slightly rotated, but they cannot be removed. Each symbiote has one part is glued on the pincer. But their positions don't bother the articulation at all. And I also tried to attach the movie version symbiote on this body, but unfortunately, the plugs don't fit. What a pity. The plugs are just slightly larger than the holes. It would be a killer if they could fit. I mean, if you really want to put them together, you can grind these plugs just to make them a bit thinner. That way, they would fit. The stand is in black, still in this hexagon shape. The nameplate says black suit. It also came with a shapeable tube and a clip. The clip is quite strong. For me, a person that really scared of the suit getting damaged and doesn't make flying poses often, I would replace it with a regular support. Lastly, let's check out the articulation. The head tilts up and down and side to side at about 20 degrees. The shoulders have gear joints, allowing the arm to lift over 90 degrees. And providing shoulders a drop and lift function. You can use this to control the bulky arms problem. The forearm bends about 120 degrees. The entire arm have a good range of rotation. They can be lifted forward and backward for 90 degrees as well. The waist has gear joints as well, with about 45 degrees of forward and backward tilt. Actually, backward tilt has larger range. Sideway tilt is also about 45 degrees. The legs kick forward, backward, and sideways all about 45 degrees. And the knees can bend 120 degrees. You can also rotate the thighs. The toes have independent joints that can tilt up to 45 degrees. And the feet also have a 45 degrees upward and downward tilting range. The ankles can't do much of outward tilting, but they have a decent inward tilting range. Overall, the black suit is one of the most popular Spider-Man designs of all time, there's no doubt about that. It is always a fan favorite because it looks so cool. And with these giant spider pincers and symbiote effects, this figure can look even more striking and dynamic. If you can get the special edition, I really recommend you doing so, because like I said many times already, the extra head is really awesome. For now, let's just hope that Hot Toys will announce the symbiote suit in no time. Alright, there you have it, the black suit Spider-Man from Hot Toys. I hope you all have enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Remember, play with a style. I'll see you guys in the next one.